So Randy, we know that these fraud threats are always evolving. What's the current state of ransomware right now?
Ransomware's been around for a long time. It's been around for almost 12 or 13 years as a kind of a concept. As it's evolved, as the bad guys have gotten better at it, it's gotten tougher and tougher to combat, right? So today's modern state of ransomware is effectively the bad guys use it as their last act as they're leaving. Typically what happens these days is the bad guys hack into the organization and then they spend a fairly significant amount of time kind of rooting around on the inside,
Sure.
learning about the business, the credit union, finding out where the crown jewels are, the things of value that they can monetize, data, proprietary secrets if it's somebody that's got intellectual property. They take that stuff out. Maybe they find other ways to commit fraud. And then typically they will plant the ransomware at the end as they're done. They've kind of milked the organization for everything they can. And the ransomware is their last act. Hey, sorry to let you know, we've been in your systems forever. We've encrypted your systems. You need to pay to get the decryption key back, right, to unlock it. Some organizations say, well, we'll take care of that ourselves. We've got
Sure.
backups. We've got restore capabilities. The bad guys say, that's fine. Here's a sample of the data we stole. You still need to pay us or we'll release that data out to the public to make it clear we were in here. So the current state is there are groups that focus on types of organizations, specialize, just like we specialize in business,
Sure.
to attack, to mine the data, to plant the ransomware. So in particular, there are ransomware groups that focus just on financial institutions. There are different groups that focus on healthcare or manufacturing or other small types of businesses.
So besides ransomware, what are one or two other threats that credit unions have to keep
Sure.
top of mind?
So, ransomware is the one that makes all the big splash in the news, right? As we've continued to evolve and specialize in credit unions, we are becoming more and more dependent on outside third-party vendors or service providers to provide us with software, to manage our systems, to host systems out in the cloud for us. And so as we move more and more of that outside of the brick and mortar of the credit union, we transfer where those controls are, right? In the old days, they were all in the building. We had an IT guy who did it himself.
Sure.
And we had or felt we had fairly direct control. Now we've pushed it outside. We still need to have all the same controls. All the same controls exist out there as we're in-house. They might have different names. They might be put in a different place. The vendor might manage them differently. It's still our data. We still have to make sure they're safeguarding it just as well as we are. And a lot of people would say, well, that's why we go to the experts, right? They're the experts. Well, transition, Colonial Pipeline got hacked. They're technical term, they're ginormous. Kronos timekeeping system used by thousands of companies to manage their timekeeping hosted in the cloud. They got hacked and hit by ransomware. Just because we put it out with a vendor in the cloud who is an expert doesn't mean it's any more or less secure. And so the credit union needs to continue to maintain and build mechanisms and processes to hold those vendors just as accountable as we would hold ourselves. And that's a challenge because the vendor, right, they're going to operate to the lowest common denominator. They might have 1,000 credit unions they serve. Well, how do you serve 1,000 credit unions efficiently? You make them all do it the same way, lowest common denominator. So we've got to push them to say, our standards are here. You've got to deliver this service to the same level, not to this level because it's more convenient for you.